this quiet quitting term, which drives me absolutely bananas. You know, I got to tell y'all, I've always been old school. My nickname in college was 40. Yeah, as in 40 years of age. I read 2 newspapers every day. I would sit in the quad area and all my friends would come in, and I was always like the old school newspaper. Like, you know, I've always been a little bit of an older soul. I'm a traditionalist. And I think that just good old fashioned words still work. I don't know why we got to come up with things like imposter syndrome to say doubt. I don't know why we've got to come up with quiet quitting, but the media's latched onto it. By the way, I love to teach where I can give you extra nuggets. Do you know why quiet quitting has stuck? Anybody? I'm going to tell you. Quiet quitting has stuck among people first, and now the media's grabbed onto it because it's alliteration. It's that simple. Quiet quitting. It's easy to say, and it's done a pretty good job of describing what's really going on. All right, so I'm going to define it if you haven't heard how it is really being used. It is essentially people who are doing the minimum required, and they are psychologically and emotionally detached. That's my way of saying it. So here's the job description. Here's what my boss expects of me, and I'm only going to do that. And then I'm psychologically and emotionally detached. I mean, mentally, I'm not really engaged, and emotionally, like, I'm not engaged. Something bad happens to the company or product, I don't care. Just pay me. I mean, that's what's really going on. And so this is the best way to describe what's called quiet quitting. By the way, it's nothing new. I am a student of this stuff and work trends. And for years, every year when the new Gallup work poll comes out, and Gallup's been doing this for a long time as a part of the strengths revolution that they brought to the forefront. And I was an early adopter. And so they put out a study year after year after year. And it's been in the 68%, 69%, sometimes bump up to 70% of American workers are what they call disengaged. Now, that does not mean that they hate their job. It's not a hatred thing. It's just what I described. So quiet quitting, this isn't some new trend. This is just what kids are calling it on TikTok, or as I like to say, the talk. Just irritates my kids when I say that. The other day, I brought it out again, Alex, and my daughter was like, "Dad, that's so cringe." That's what she said to me. Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay. Latest data. Quiet quitters make up at least 50% of the U.S. workforce, Gallup finds. U.S. employee engagement took another step backward during the second quarter of 2022. So now we are seeing some negative trends here. And it's partly because you see things like this happen on social media where we call things quiet quitting and people go, oh, yeah, that's me. So now people are like brazen about it. Remember, I told you we long to belong, right? So if someone's mad at this presidential candidate, or someone's mad at this social media influencer or this pop culture icon, and they feel like it hits a nerve, they jump on board, and it's like, why? Because I agree with this group of people and I'm going to swim with them. This is natural human behavior. This is the largest proportion, the proportion of engaged workers remained at 32%. So 32%, less than a third of American workers are engaged. The proportion of actively disengaged has increased to 18%. So then the middle ground are the people that are just not engaged. So you have actively engaged, they're fired up, all in. Then you got the not engaged, they're just the quiet quitters. And then you got this group, 18% now, and this has gone up, of people who are actively disengaged, right? Their mindset is this.
Take this job and shove it.
Right? Little Johnny Paycheck. Okay? If you look that song up, if you don't know who he is. But that's their mindset. You all right? They don't care if they get fired. Take this job and shove it where the sun don't shine, right? That's what they're thinking. And that's actively disengaged. All right? And you know, those people are still getting to come in because leaders are terrified of getting rid of them. So the drop in engagement began in the second half of 2021, and that was concurrent with the rise of job resignations. And I believe that's what the Great Resignation did. All right. It left so many people behind, and they were like, well, screw it. I'm not brave enough to go do something different, but I'm also not going to keep bringing it here. If everybody else is leaving me, why am I here? And you're not going to see that in the media, but I believe that's the psychological response, and thus why you're seeing the numbers jump. Okay, the workplace has gotten worse for younger employees. Now, this is where this gets interesting. Gen Z and younger millennials. So these are everybody below the age 35, okay? Since the pandemic, younger workers have declined significantly in feeling cared about and having opportunities to develop. So leaders, listen to me. Young people are the future of the workforce, and they feel like they are less cared for, meaning they're humans, and they don't feel like you care about them. You don't know them. You don't see them. In short, you're not loving them. Secondly, and this is a direct result of not loving them and seeing them and caring for them, they don't feel like they have opportunities to grow. Younger workers have dropped 10 or more points in the percentage who strongly agree that someone cares about them. Someone encourages their development, and they have opportunities to learn and grow. Fully remote and hybrid young workers dropped 12 points in strong agreement that someone encourages their development. This is out of sight, out of mind. I've gotten criticized on this show before by saying that I don't think that hybrid and fully remote work is best for culture development. I didn't say it was wrong. I didn't say you shouldn't be able to do it, but people come at me when I just say common sense things, which is fine. I'm cool with it. But if you listen to me, what I have said is this right here. You are out of sight, and thus there's a greater chance that you're out of mind for your leader. This is disturbing. Less than 4 in 10 young remote or hybrid employees clearly know what is expected of them at work. Now, this is a leadership issue, but here's the problem with leaders. Only 1 in 3 managers are engaged at work. Only managers are in a position to actually know how employees think and feel. Now, Gallup's done research on this. You ready, leaders? And I've told you this. Gallup says that the best habit for successful management is having just one. The bar is so low, just one meaningful conversation of 15 to 30 minutes a week with your people can make you an effective leader. Now, this is a leadership problem. And leaders, I've told you this before, I'm going to say it again. There are 3 human needs that must be met by leaders. And if you don't do it, you're going to have low engagement. Number 1, people need to feel a sense of meaning and purpose in their work. When they begin to believe that their job doesn't matter, the slippery slope is they begin to believe that they don't matter. Whew. Number 2, they need to be recognized publicly and privately for their unique contribution. Attaboys and attagirls. And number 3, they want a relationship with you, and it looks like a coach or a mentor. The data says it right here. They don't feel loved. They don't feel like they've got a ladder for a better life. The world has changed, leaders, and I'm not going to stop saying it. I'm trying to get in front of many leaders as possible to understand it. You just sit with people and go, how are you doing? How can I help you win? The connection is there. That's all it takes. Love people. Then you can lead them.